See, you got to have relationship with God over religion. This is the phenomenon that we have seen grow over the last 20 years or more, where the ideas of religion and Christianity, especially, have moved from being Christian to, well, from being religious to being Christian, from being Christian back to being religious. And now it moved from being religious to being spiritual. And now we are being in relationship with God. But I want you to think about something for a minute, for all those who are Christian and non-Christian, at the ludicrous idea of being in relationship with your God. You see, when you have a religion and you are religious, that means that you are following a set structure of beliefs, not just activities, but beliefs and rituals that placate to the will of your God. You live a certain life. You go to church on Sundays. You go on Wednesdays. You go on the Sabbath. You honor all the laws. You keep all the moral laws and the rituals. You are religious. You are doing exactly what this God has said in his book that you are supposed to do in order to demonstrate that you are a worshiper of his. And the thing about religion is that religion doesn't require the God to be benevolent. It doesn't require the God to make sense. It doesn't require the God to fit your morality. There are many religions throughout history where people worship the God who was very hateful and mean, and or worship gods who fought battles and like Thor and reveled in the idea of fighting battles and things of this nature. Whether we're talking about Asar and Set and Isis, these guys were not one-sided in their personalities. But now people, especially Christians, are talking about relationship. You got to have a relationship with God. Well, I want you to think about something. When it comes down to a relationship, what are you actually saying? That means to relate to someone, to be in good community with someone, to have a gracious, loving return with someone. Now, you can have a bad relationship with someone, but of course, they mean a good relationship. So, and many Christians say they have a relationship with their loving God. Let me ask you a question. So, my wife is sitting right over here. She don't want to be on camera, of course. So let me ask you a question. If I genocided babies, could you have a relationship with me? If I thought that women don't deserve their own agency to be able to choose husbands, would you have a relationship with me?
No.
If I thought that if one of our daughters were a virgin and got essayed by a man, that they would be able to, that man could marry her, would you be in a relationship with me?
No.
If I told you that we are going to take our family, we're going to go and genocide the family next door to us because the father participated in some rituals that we didn't like, would you be in a relationship with me?
No.
If I was jealous, would you be in a relationship with me?
No.
So you wouldn't be in a relationship with me if I exhibit all the traits by which the Bible says this God's personality is, that he's a jealous God, a narcissistic God. He's a God of genocide, and women's agency is not there. They're forfeited. You would?
No.
And I know that there are going to be some Christians who are going to come on here and say that, where you're comparing human relationship to godly relationship, you can't hope to understand godly relationship, or you're comparing the relationship of the created to the creator. That never matters. You see, if I had that type of personality, my children, although I am the creator of my children, they would not have a relationship with me. If I was out here murdering and killing and stealing and taking from people, going in and saying, well, this is my house and your ass got to go because I just decided that this is my holy land, my children would not have relationship with me. They would see me as a egotistical, narcissistic, insecure, controlling person. You see, I've been in that relationship before where I had a controlling person and I had to walk away from it, and then they become violent and I had to walk away from it. They were insecure and I had to walk away from it. I would never be in a relationship with someone who exhibits the personality traits of your God. This is why on the live the other night, when a gentleman said, hey, if you go to heaven and all of a sudden you find out that the Jesus God is correct, What are you going to do then? I would expertly, if allowed to ask questions, I would ask questions about this guy's whole nature and how he doesn't make sense and how I think he's very unfair and that he's not a God worthy of being worshiped. And at the end of the conversation, go ahead and own and I'll take the consequences because I would not want to live for an eternity with that type of relationship, with this enslaved relationship. And I say enslaved relationship because according to your book, you're going to spend an eternity in heaven praising this God with cherubims flying around in circles, talking about some holy, 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 holy for all eternity. That sounds hellish. That I got to be bowed down to this God, praising him for all eternity. Do y'all know how long eternity is? No. So when y'all say relationship, I think y'all should go back to religion or being religious, where you just follow the rules set forth by a God that doesn't have to be a good God, but you are fearful of him because you don't want to go to hell. That actually makes more sense to me if a person said that they were religious versus saying they was having a relationship, because it demonstrates that you are willing to be in a relationship with your kidnapper, with your slave owner, with your abuser. You are willing to have Stockholm syndrome. And I know right now, every last one of the Christians who are on here are saying, no, there's absolutely no way I would be in a relationship with a human that treats me that way, a person that treats me that way. But yet you say that you will be in a relationship with a God that does. And let's be real. The only reason you can do it with this God, other than the fear, is that my wife is right there. Her existence is right there. Our daily communication and communion with each other is right there. Your God is not right there. You don't deal with your God every day. You're not waking up in the morning next to your God. You're not cooking and having dinner with your God. You're not making love to your God. You're not going out on dates with your God. It's all in your mind. So you're okay with it as long as it's your imaginary friend. So y'all have a great day. And always remember, you have to free yourself to be yourself because your greatness is non-negotiable. Good journey, good vibration.